This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to iloveblackpeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of I Love Black People. And just want to thank all the listeners who support us and give us all the love and continue to spread that love to benefit our community. It's definitely a pleasure to continually serve and be a part and creating this family that we have of our people all over the world. And this episode, we're going to really do a mid-year recap and kind of like update. We just got back from the Essence Festival, engaging again probably one of the most preeminent events of Black culture globally in the world. And so if you haven't been able to get down to the Essence Festival in New Orleans, it's definitely an opportunity to be a part of a sea, like literally an ocean of Black folks from all different kinds of backgrounds and different walks of life, really coming together in one of probably the most fun, but also engaging and many workshops and activities, and also in the evening they have all of the hottest and the most amazing artists performing. So just want to give a shout out to the Essence Festival, always a good time. And also want to just kind of give us a review. We're midway in 2022, and we look at all the things that have been going on, the pandemic, the changes that we've been through with that, and the fact that we're here. I had the opportunity to attend church with my mom, and the pastor was talking about praising God on the first Sunday of the month for us who made it. And many of us have lost friends and family through the pandemic, and there's a reason why we're here, and we need to fulfill that destiny. And just want to take note of that. Like, this is the midway point of the year, but also this is an opportunity for us to realize that we've made it quite far, and that distance was not made for by coincidence, and that the fact that we're here, that we have an opportunity to do something with this time. So please don't let none of these moments slip away. Don't let any of the adversity that we might encounter not to distract us from really the fact that this is really an awesome opportunity to be alive, and we have what it takes to make the changes necessary to improve that. With that being said, also wanted to kind of touch on some of the latest updates of the work that we've been doing through I Love Black People. We, of course, everyone, we let you know about this app that we have called the I Love Black People Safe Places app. And it's, the cornerstone of what we talk about I Love Black People, again, is all the amazing things that are being done in our global Black community. And when we talk about it from a Pan-African perspective, meaning that we're a part of an incredible, wonderful family of the African diaspora. And when we say Black, we're not telling anyone that they're a color of paint or a color of a crayon. It's almost like a political context when we talk about Blackness, that it is not something where when people talk about the flatness, like we're all the same, we're talking about us coming together through a shared common background and origin to ensure that this family is able to grow and continue to prosper. So when we talk about this Black family, we talk about what we're doing. We're talking about in a way to uplift the 1.5 billion people of African descent. And that's to say that we want to make sure that our community is safe. So it's not enough to say, oh, I'm Black, but this is really about people who are concerned about the safety and well-being of Black people. And we know that we want the whole world to see that as important because of the humanity that we all deserve and that we all are born with. So when we talk about that, that's the big picture of this 1.5 billion, it's the size of China, making sure that this community continues to grow and this family continues to prosper by being safe. And we, of course, leveraged and used the background of the original Green Book by Victor Green that lasted from the 30s to the 60s to provide a guide for Black folks as they travel throughout the United States and use that principle. And I think sometimes people don't or misunderstand that the Green Book was not a Black business directory. It literally was a guide to protect Black people from Jim Crow segregation. And for those who aren't familiar, Jim Crow segregation is more like the U.S. version of apartheid. And we must be clear: some of the most racist regimes, be it South Africa or in Germany, much of what they utilize as far as policies actually came through movements that had originated in the United States, eugenist movement, and a host of other where the false principle of white supremacist ideology was practiced or promoted, when in reality, we as a people know that race is a fiction. Literally, race has no scientific basis, and that we're literally more alike than we are different as human beings, and that we're probably the only species that would come up with ways to harm each other as a species as opposed to collectively build as a species. With that being said, this green book was very helpful for our people as they moved about the world. What we've done is taken that concept and digitized it into a app as well as a website that allows uh, people all over the world to share their favorite amazing Black friendly places. And I say this because it's important, because at this phase, we're right now in the process of accumulating as many Black friendly spaces. So, what we're telling people in your everyday life, wherever you're going, wherever you're walking, whatever you do in your daily tasks or chores, the places that you like to go to already, please share them with us. Because if those places will treat you well, we know they'll treat us well. And we want us to, as a community, as a family, be able to come together and use that information to help our folks make good decisions. Now, one of the other things, besides the fact that it was not just about Black owned, but about making sure that we as a community, as a Black community, was safe, is also the fact that it was just about traveling. Well, what we've seen is that traveling is just one form of vulnerability. When you're somewhere and you don't know anyone, you're vulnerable. But we also know, as a community, as a Black family, as it were, that there are other vulnerabilities. And what the pandemic has taught us in a very serious way is that being sick is a vulnerability. And that's if you think the pandemic was man-made or is it natural. It's coming out of a toxic environment that actually creates a level of vulnerability that compromises us. When we're in that situation, we need to have access to healthcare that's going to help us and not hurt us. You're just going to heal us and not harm us. So these are things that can happen if we're being racially profiled. And, not to mention the comorbidities that come from environments that are toxic also, that we want to make sure we have access to healthcare that is going to treat us with dignity and respect. And that could be at home where you live, where you're not really aware of where the places you should go if you get sick, or if you're in Denmark, you get sick in Copenhagen. It's going to be hard to Google non-racist doctor in Copenhagen. But with the help of many of our members and folks all over the world sharing their favorite amazing doctors, we'll be able to create a safety net, no matter where you are in the world, where you can reach out and touch these healthcare providers that treat Black people with dignity and respect. And we know that we can do that in the course of a number of months. Our focus and target is by October, by the beginning of Q4, to be able to have the safety net, at least at the initial stages, where people can successfully utilize this information to protect themselves from racism as it relates to racial profiling and xenophobia globally. But in order to do that, we need your help. We need you to literally share your favorite places wherever you go now. Download the app. I Love Black People. You can go to iloveblackpeople.com /app, or you can go online and look up I Love Black People Safe Spaces. And with this app, you'll be able to take that information and literally use it to share information about your favorite places that are treating us with dignity and respect. And we picked 8 categories. The original Green Book focused on 3 categories. It focused on places to eat, places to sleep, and transportation. We've added additional 5 key categories that we think and know are important to our survival and well-being as a people, and that's to include healthcare, legal, as well as childcare slash education, finance, and beauty. And we wanted to make sure that we covered it. We're not trying to boil the ocean and cover every category, but we're looking at categories where if you make a wrong decision and you end up being racially profiled, it can be very deadly. You having a doctor that's racist is problematic. If you are dealing, we talk about vulnerabilities like healthcare being sick, or is a vulnerability. If somehow the authorities do something to you, that's a vulnerability, and you need a lawyer that's not going to racially profile you or predetermine that you're guilty and not give you a fair hearing and support you. That information is critical. So we always are looking for doctors as well as lawyers that you can go on the app and recommend that are Black owned or Black friendly. Black owned healthcare facilities, or Black physicians, or practitioners, as well as law firms and legal practitioners. We need to make sure that our people, when they're in these vulnerable situations, have access to information that can empower them. And I often tell my staff, in order to make good decisions as a co-founder and CEO, I need good information. And I actually got this from my professor at Howard University MBA school, um, that actually really taught us how to understand the world. And one of the points he made is that that good information has to be accurate, relevant, and timely. So in order to make good decisions, you need good information. And good information has 3 characteristics. It's accurate, relevant, and timely. It's important that we make sure that our people have that type of information so they can make the optimum and best decision, especially dealing in a world where, as we see the violence or some of these issues that come up, we want to make sure we have this information. And you, without you going outside of your daily routine, can take the places that you go already where you're treated super awesome and share that information through the app, and we'll have this database of amazing places available and launched in October so that everyone can use this information. This will be like our foundation. It won't be the ceiling, but by October 1, we're going to have the foundation already created of this wonderful space, which is a safety net that you and your friends and your neighbors shared, so that no matter where we are in the world, we're treated with dignity and respect. So again, I think it's important as we talk about things like this, we are the solution. And this is an election year for those in the United States and many other countries. You know, elections are important, fair enough. But we're not going to wait for a politician to make the changes that we can make. And we often talk about political agendas where we hold people accountable. Being a reparationist, I support HR 40, even though it's a study bill, very weak, but it's the only bill we got and it's on the floor. It should be passed from the floor. But we're not waiting for the weak folks in Congress that actually presented this weak bill to change our lives. What we're going to do is do things that can help each other right now by us working together, and leveraging this technology is one of the things that we see as being key to that. and I'm an engineer by profession. So myself and my co-founder, Christopher Mapendera, another Howard grad, and of course I went to Tuskegee. July 4th is Founders Day for all the Tuskegee folks. Booker T. Washington, 1881. But I just want to be clear that these are the ways that we do for ourselves, leveraging our own skills to make a difference. And as much as it's important to vote, it's important that we wake up every day and hold ourselves accountable to the agenda that we want to see achieved, not just in November. We want to make sure that's done every day. And this is just one tool by leveraging and using the I Love Black People Safe Spaces app that each and every one of you can actually participate in creating this global safety net that is beneficial for your family, your friends. Many students are going to be going off to college. We want to make sure wherever they are that they have access to information that will give them the best ability to make good decisions and choices for themselves. This green book concept that Victor Green came up with. And then he actually passed away like in 1960, and his wife carried it on for another several years. So, we're part of a legacy of people who through self-determination. Not It wasn't a church, it wasn't a nonprofit, it wasn't the government. These were private citizens that created this, and we are those private citizens today that are going to create the solutions for this current generation. It's upon us to do that, and that's not me just being Generation X, but that's saying that we're part of this global community. We're not going to wait for someone else to make our lives better. We've made it through the pandemic thus far. We made it through wars. We made it through crack cocaine. We made it through AIDS. We made it through, we're making it through the monkeypox. Like all these things that are going to happen and plagues that are going to come before us. We know that we stand on the shoulders of our God, of our ancestors, for the sake of our prodigy, our children to come, to make the difference in that us that we were called, to. And I'm not trying to make it too religious, but we're, we have a purpose. And I think again, it's not about just focusing on political types or so-called leaders. Many of us are going to spend much of our time as followers. And how do we take that context of the followership and empower ourselves to create the environments that we want to leave for our children? So I think, again, this app is but one tool. Technology is neither good nor bad. It's just a tool, and I think that's a good segue into some other things that we're actively working on. Coming up in September 23rd and 24th, we'll be celebrating our fifth anniversary of the Black Blockchain Summit. So this is a big thing. Again, going back to technology, the background is hosted at Howard University, one of the incredible meccas of technology globally. As a people, as Black folks, as the African diaspora, we have primacy. We've created the first technologies. There's so much that we've contributed to the world that still is a testament to the amazing brilliance of our people, be it the pyramids in Egypt or the Great Zimbabwe or Benin Wall, all the sciences and the mathematics that have been created from our communities are still a testament to not just what we've done in the past, but what we must do in the future and right now. And we see this particular technology, blockchain, as a particular technology that we are active and engaged in. So I often hear people talk to me about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I never use this platform to try to get somebody to buy something or do any of those things. We come at it from an engineering perspective. We see blockchain as a tool. Just like when the internet came out, there are some people were using the internet to do all kind of things. I mean, very, very illegal things were being done on the internet. And still probably one of the most prolific things done on the internet is probably pornography and some other bad things. With that being said, the internet is neither good nor bad. It's a tool that we can use, but we're the ones that have to be organized. There's a brother always makes a point, and I think he makes a great point. He says, no matter what technology you're talking about, our oppression has not changed because of that technology in any appreciative way. because the technology itself is not going to change oppression. As a matter of fact, technology can be used to do more oppression. If we could look at how nuclear power, instead of using it in a positive way, it was used to drop bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The use of, Fourth of July, you can use gunpowder to celebrate, or it can be used to put a projectile that explodes in a person's body. Blockchain is neither good nor bad. It's literally up to us. But it's important, though, that we are the ones who are the makers and not just those that are using it. When we talk about social media has contributed to some very negative things and behaviors. And as a community, we over-index in social media. Well, if we're going to index in something to that degree, we should be the ones who are determining the outcomes that come from that technology. We should be the ones not just using it, we should be the makers. So, the importance of the Black Blockchain Summit in the 5 years has been literally pulling together members throughout our African diaspora, the many Black communities to come together and solve problems in our community. And there's been so many amazing sisters and brothers that have come out of that the conference and worked together to build and create solutions and communities that are doing amazing work. And we know that that legacy is important for us to create. And up until the time we had came together, John Karanja, a brother from Kenya, who was one of the folks who has been so helpful in developing a lot of what work that I've done as a co-founder. We saw that many of these conferences didn't have our presence uh, more than just a token or a superficial presence. We wanted to make sure we created something that had our communities at the focal point. And what's been great about the Black Blockchain Summit, we not only do we bring together, uh, uh, Bitcoin and blockchain experts and enthusiasts, we actually bring together folks in the social sciences. So coming out of the engineering school at Tuskegee and Howard, we bring folks who are in applied sciences like electrical engineering and computer engineering and computer science, and we bring together those social science folks who are in economics and political science, social work, and sociology, and we bring these communities together to determine how we can take the applied sciences that we know and the social sciences that we know to solve the problems that we face as a Black community and leverage the brains of as many of our community and even folks outside of our community who are concerned or experts in these areas to help come up with solutions. And those solutions manifest in activities of the different people once they leave our conference. And I tell people to talk about the Declaration of Independence as a document and as a meeting that convened, it would mean almost nothing if after the convening of that meeting or the writing of that document, if those folks didn't go out and start shooting and doing what they did to the British to remove them from power. Well, when we talk about the Black Blockchain Summit, our interest and our concern and our mission is to create an environment where our people take the conference and use it to build solutions that solve problems throughout our community well beyond the conference itself. So again, if you're one of these people and oh, we got a special thing that we're going to do this year and we're going to use this as a starting point, we're actually starting a career fair. So this is going to be the first of its kind. It's a blockchain career fair. So it's a global virtual blockchain career fair where we're going to be focusing on people with skills that are applicable to solutions that can use Bitcoin in all the different areas and fields that you might be in. It could be folks in financial technology, so finance, banks, any type of financial companies. It could be supply chain. We call it blockchains, chains of data, the data that can be literally secured in a way that's decentralized. Very helpful in the supply chain area. We also could utilize it in identity, In any type of infrastructures that you want to decentralize globally, blockchain technology becomes very interesting and helpful. As a co-founder of a startup, Bill Murray, we, personally, firsthand understand the importance of that. We created back in 2017 the first startup that used Bitcoin to explicitly remit cash to a country, and that was in Zimbabwe, and that was under Robert Mugabe. We literally were able to create a system that, in many ways, was faster, more secure, more beneficial to the local financial uh, company than Western Union and MoneyGram, which are really, predatory entities in Africa, where they literally overcharge our communities to send money back and forth from different parts of the world. These are solutions that come out of a knowledge of this particular technology we call blockchain. The Black Blockchain Summit, September 23rd, 24th. Make sure you go to blackblockchainsummit.com, get your tickets, and like I said, download the app, continue to do what you do. Thank you all, and God bless.
This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to iloveblackpeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are.